the story of the season is Phillip Rivers. He's back. Unimaginably, Phillip Rivers, the 8-time Pro Bowl selection, rejoined the Colts this week, 5 years after retiring. He has not yet been named the starter for Sunday, but Colts head coach Shane Steichen said he is an option to start Sunday against the Seahawks. Let me interpret that for you. Phillip Rivers is starting Sunday against the Seahawks. His return made another old quarterback very happy.
I'm not the oldest guy in the league. I love that. It's pretty incredible, though, because he's been out for, I believe, 4 full seasons, plus this part of this season. I was laughing because a couple of my buddies hit me up asking what I would do in that situation, and I said, without missing a beat, I'm retired. I'm staying retired.
All right, so that's some of the reaction inside the league. Bart, you had some legendary battles with Phillip Rivers. Your thoughts?
I mean, this is amazing. This is the most amazing thing I ever seen, man. It's like the league of old men. I mean, you talk about Phillip Rivers coming back. It's only an amazing story if it goes well. You know, like, he gives hope to all the old men around there. We all sitting there, we go to the gym, we doing our Pilates, we stretching, and people are like, hey, you think you can still play? I think I can. I think if any other position can make this transition, it has to be the quarterback position, because the quarterback position is the only one where it's 80% above the shoulders. He's still smart. He still knows where to go with the ball, but can he take a hit and where his hamstring fall off the bone right before our eyes on
What was it like
TV?
playing against him?
Oh, he was the biggest trash talker ever, man. Like, he's one of my favorites. Like, out of the 3 kings that came out of that draft, I think he's the one that often gets forgotten because he's the only one without a title. To me, he was one of the best. I would take him sometimes before Eli for sure. I wouldn't take him maybe before Ben, because Ben was just maniacal with his physicality, his ability to have the most punchable face in all of football. But, you know, Phillip Rivers, this is going to be interesting. I want to see it. This will be as amazing as George Foreman winning the title at 45. This man comes back and leads his team to the playoffs.
That's probably the right analogy to make in this circumstance. Foreman coming out of a long retirement and winning the heavyweight championship. What are the wagering things that come out of this thing, Joe?
So you've got a bunch of props up there now, but the book's kind of hedging its bets. Like, the passing yardage prop is 151.5. You can take advantage of this, because if he doesn't play at least one snap, all bets are voided. So you get all your money back.
So you go under.
So if you're betting that he's going to play, I would actually go over on passing attempts, right? Because if he's going to play, he's going to play, assuming he stays healthy. Passing attempts is only sitting at 27.5. Now think about that. You're a 2-touchdown dog against Seattle. You're going to throw the ball less than 28 times in that game. You're going to be getting blown out. You're on the call. You should expect to see that. You're going to have to throw. Teams against Seattle this year, they're averaging 36 passing attempts per game, 4th most in the NFL. So if he's going to play, he's going to throw, and he's mostly dinking and dunking his way down the field.
Okay, I like it. So I misunderstood, and it's important to underline that point. If he doesn't play at all, you get your money back.
Yeah.
So you make the bet on the over, because you figure if he's out there, it's going to go over. You are doing the game on CBS. What is your sense?
You look at this, and I think there's 2 parts of it. The part of Phillip Rivers' age, and you're a little terrified for him going against the Seattle Seahawks defense of what could possibly happen to him physically. On the other side of it, Phillip Rivers is a father of 10. He's a grandfather. He's also a high school football coach. When he goes out there, you said it's only good if it's amazing and it's successful. I disagree. No matter what happens, if I'm one of Phillip Rivers' players and I'm watching when Phillip Rivers throws a pick, and he's been coaching us to do something this way all season long, I'm calling him up like, Coach, what the hell are you doing? Exactly what you told us not to do, you're doing. So this is a storybook type of thing with him going back into the league.
It's amazing. And just to put it into context, one of the best young Seahawks players is their 1st-round pick, Nick Emenwari. Take a look at this. What were you doing in 2004? February 7th, Emenwari was born. 2 months later, Phillip Rivers was drafted into the NFL. That is just what you need to know. And Emenwari is going to play a big role in this game. I'll say this. The ex-players, you guys at the table, and Joe and Mike and Green, you guys can all appreciate, and then we could go to that place where it's, what if it doesn't go right? I'm not putting my head there. I am thinking truly about the story and how cool and how unique and how fun this is. And what if? Because the truth of the matter is this. If they do start rattling off wins with Phillip Rivers, the narrative on Rivers his entire career has been great stats, didn't win the big one. What if? Imagine getting one shot at 44 to, hey, rewrite that narrative. He's got that opportunity.
Listen, I'm intrigued by it.
I like that,
really
man.
Intrigued. I want to see Phillip Rivers go out there and ball out and represent for all the grandfathers. You talk about making a staple in the community. Phillip Rivers, listen to me right now. You represent for the granddaddies out there who have their grandbabies that's going to sit on the couch and cheer for you. Now, reality has to sink in. The Seattle Seahawks, they're 4th and sacking the quarterback. I don't want to see Phillip Rivers get bent up backwards like a piece of rubber. I really don't.
Here's the reality. Seattle by 13.5.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the reality.
absolutely.
You lay the points.
He's playing at Seattle in the rain, which is what is forecast for
that. But the body's not even cold with Daniel Jones. They just get snatched 17 and gave it right to him. Yeah, man. When he put the chalk outline yet.
Got to try something. Joe Fortenbaugh is here, our betting expert, with some of the best bets looking ahead to this NFL weekend with our brand new partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's start with a very interesting game. Eagles are kind of sliding. Yeah. If the Raiders aren't the remedy, then I don't know what's going to be. What's the play here?
I take the Raiders plus the 11.5. We're asking the Eagles to not only win, but to win by margin. It's not something they do. Only one victory this year out of 8 has come by more than 7 points. Jalen Hurts against man coverage, fantastic. Jalen Hurts against zone coverage, terrible. Guess what? Raiders play the 8th most amount of zone coverage of anyone in the NFL. And Greeny, get this, if we're down 14 late, we know Pete Carroll will kick the field goal to get inside the number. We just saw it last week.
I like that one. Huge game, Bills and Patriots. What are you looking at there?
Cheap money line on Buffalo, so let's get the spread out of there and just lay the minus 120 on the Bills to win the game. First meeting between these two, Buffalo had 3 turnovers and 11 penalties, and it still required a game-winning field goal from the Patriots. Can they count on all that happening again? By the way, outside of beating Allen, these are the quarterbacks the Patriots have beaten this year. Spencer Rattler, Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields, Ward, Dart, Tua, Bryce Young, Penix, Flacco, Mayfield. It goes on and on. At some point, the Patriots are going to be overvalued. This is the game.
Okay, and then one more. How about the Browns and Bears in frigid Chicago?
I'll take Cleveland plus the 7.5. This is what we call a sandwich spot for the Bears. You're off a huge game against the Packers. You got a huge game against the Packers on deck. Sandwiched in between is this non-conference game against the bottom feeder in the Cleveland Browns. Total's 38.5 in this game, so the 7.5 in our pocket, very valuable. Bears defense not only banged up, not as good as the numbers indicate. They've been thriving on those turnovers. If they don't get them, they're not going to cover the number.
Okay, and one of the reasons the number is so low is because of the weather. The legendary weatherman in Chicago is Tom Skilling all those years, and so I will channel my inner Tom Skilling and tell you it's going to be freezing at Soldier Field. At kickoff, the actual temperature will be 10 degrees, winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. The feels-like temperature will be -5. So we can deal with the weather side of this, and then we can deal with the Shedeur of it all. Yeah. Harry Douglas, Joe Thomas, the legendary Cleveland Brown, said he thinks this little stretch here are the most important 4 games the Browns have played in a very long time because they will see what they have in the quarterback. What do you think of that statement?
And I like it, and I definitely think it's the most important for Shedeur Sanders. You look at the 4 opponents that they have, and 3 of them currently right now are in a slot to make the playoffs. When you look at the Chicago Bears, the Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, but a guy in Shedeur Sanders who has given everyone on this roster hope. And J-Mac, when you have a quarterback that can go out there and throw the football downfield and throw for over 300 yards and have touchdown passes, something that you are foreign to seeing this entire season, it gives you a sense of hope that you guys have a chance every single time that you step out there on that football field because the quarterback can get it to the receivers, the tight ends. But I think in this matchup, he's going to need that run game with Quinshon Judkins to be an assistance to him because it's going to be so cold.
So Joe Thomas is excited for it, and candidly, I'm excited for it. But Peter, you don't think that – what is it you're going to tell us about this Browns situation?
I'm a realist. I think we watched Shedeur, and he was the offensive rookie of the week, and we're doing flips and saying he's the guy. But I have had no indication from anyone in Cleveland or publicly from the Cleveland front office or coaching staff that they believe Shedeur is the guy. So yes, these games matter, and it's good for Shedeur. But I don't know if Shedeur lights it up if he's necessarily going into the offseason as the firm #1 in Cleveland. And guess what? That's okay, because I believe there would be a massive trade market for a guy on a 5th-round salary and someone who has actually shown in NFL games that he can be the best player on the field, which he was last week.
So maybe this is actually an audition for Shedeur for 20 other teams in the National Football League who need a quarterback.
Listen, Shedeur was a 5th-round draft pick. I was a 6th-rounder. When you're a late-round guy, the truth of the matter is you don't know when your opportunity is going to come to prove that you belong in the NFL. Shedeur's opportunity came in year 1, and it's happening right now. In these last 4 games, to your point, the teams that they're playing against, if he can go out there and put up a good performance in the offseason, there isn't a ton of free agent quarterbacks. Daniel Jones just tore his Achilles. Don't know when he's going to be back. Shedeur could put his name at the top of the list for a team that can possibly make a trade, to Schraig's point, to get him over there to come compete. Because nothing has told us that the Cleveland Browns, to everything we're saying that Joe Thomas said, do the Cleveland Browns, does Andrew Berry, does General Manager
every move they have made from the second they drafted him suggests that they don't have any interest in him being
well,
their
number
guy.
one, Greeny, I don't trust them making the best decision for the quarterback position, period. And this goes all the way back to
Bernie
Kosar and all those guys. Look at Baker Mayfield right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They gave up on him. They started Joe Flacco this year. They ended up trading him. Dylan Gabriel, they allowed to be the quarterback. Now you're on Shedeur. Yeah. It's quarterback after quarterback after quarterback in Cleveland, so I don't trust him to make the right decision.
I mean, I had a front row seat for that for 7 years in the carousel that they had, but like, as an undrafted free agent, you're a 6th-round draft pick. Perception is reality, and sometimes it's hard to get rid of that scarlet letter of how people perceive you coming in. They might say, this is nice, but he can't be a franchise quarterback. And it's going to be hard. They're going to be hard-pressed if they have a high pick to pass by Mendoza and to pass by Moore, because Stefanski's never picked his own quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson was forced on him. So this is opportunity. If you believe in the coach, 2-time coach of the year, he's going to have an opportunity to maybe pick his franchise quarterback. It's going to be hard-pressed. So I think – and if you ask Shedeur, the reason why he told Baltimore not to pick him because he wanted to be a starter. So if they draft the 1st-round draft pick, I think it's going to facilitate and put the wheels in motion to get the trade.
The coach, a guy like Stefanski, who's coach of the year and has been such a treasured offensive mind, he's going to have a large say. Kyle Shanahan laid on the line and was like, Brock Purdy's our guy. Bill Belichick laid on the line, Tom Brady's our guy.
Yeah.
If Stefanski's not the one saying, Shedeur's my guy, they're going to open that up and they're going to discuss at the end of the season, okay, what do we have to do at quarterback? He's not going to win anything in print in these next 4 weeks.
You got to be full-bloom love for Shedeur to pass by two prospects and the ability to have control for 5 years.
If indeed they wind up in that spot. I mean, if they win a game or two, that's going to cease to be.
That's not anti-Shedeur. That's just the Browns don't.
The Giants have messed it up. The Giants are going to win their last.
I mean, what would it cost in a trade if the Jets could get Shedeur Sanders for 4th-round?
But they should have drafted him in the first.
He's a good question though. If the Jets don't have the first pick and they say a 3rd-round pick for Shedeur, do it, right?
Third, you do it.
Hell yes. Yeah, it's a way better option than anything else that they are looking at right now. I mean, I think a lot of teams.
It would be a market for him.
There will be a market for him. So we'll see. I hope that he plays well this weekend. We'll see. We'll dive into the weather and the rest of this game